Hi folks, and welcome back to The Plot on, well, I was about to say it's a glorious day. It's glorious blue sky on one side, dark cloud on the other. Tell you what, recently, one of the nice things about YouTube is you kind of get a bit more connected with people from other parts of the world, and it's made me feel so lucky to be able to come out in the garden in the middle of winter in the UK. You know, we have such a temperate climate, and obviously when you've lived here all your life, you just take it for granted. But when I get comments from people in Canada saying, wow, I wish I could do some gardening when my garden's under 3 foot of snow, it just makes you realise we're quite lucky. And if I had to compress my gardening season just into spring, summer and autumn, that gives me anxiety. You know, there's so much to do for me in winter, and I love leaving so many of the winter jobs until this time of year. Then we go in the shed. It is a little bit chilly, slightly nicer. Thankfully, I've been up the plot a few minutes and there is no storm damage, thankfully. I was just saying, we've got a lovely temperate climate, but we have just had Storm Eowyn rip through, mostly hit up north. I know Mark's allotment has had a slightly anxious time. We've been getting lots of updates with his new greenhouse and that sort of thing, but everything looks fine here. It whipped around for like a few hours in the early hours of the morning, and it seems to have passed right through, and I've not seen any sheds or polytunnels destroyed or anything like that, so that's quite nice. And this morning I was sat drinking my coffee, wondering what the next big thing for me to do at the allotment is, because I've just done so much work on the beds. I completely forgot. I'm not finished yet. There's more to do. The beds are looking so good. I do want to start a soil test today. We'll do that in a moment. But yes, today, main task is getting this topsoil shifted. It's looking a little bit sad now. It's been rained on and weathered, but it is really nice stuff. And this is going to be perfect for the taller raised beds at the back of plot 2. So it's carrying on the theme, which has just been moving lots of material recently, but I've been really enjoying it. A, because it's a lovely feeling, getting your beds all prepped and ready, but B, I've just been loving the physical aspect of it, getting out every weekend and, you know, giving yourself a bit of a test. It's not far from the hardest work in the world, but it's nice to be doing some proper physical exercise. And we've got more of that in store today. It's been so nice this morning. It's just clouding over now, but it was so nice that when I arrived, the auto vents had opened all the way up. My string has snapped on the handle. I often say, do as I say, not as I do. Over winter, you're meant to actually remove these cylinders because they don't last very well in kind of sub-zero temperatures. We tend to get away with it in the UK a little bit, but it's also quite bad if they do open up in a storm. You can let a lot of wind in. But this is what I meant. This is just broken. I normally tie this handle up. I cannot get it off. I could probably cut it off now. I've got a metal cutter. I might do that one day. But in lieu of that, I just tie this up to the roof of the greenhouse on one of those, because otherwise, if it opens too far, this falls out and gets stuck on the outside of the glass. And you don't want the whole weight of a window resting on a tiny point on your glass. So here is today's mission. Hopefully, by the end of today, these beds will all be filled with really nice topsoil. I'm probably going to mix a bit of horse manure in as well, because I've got it. It's a veg growing mix, you know, so it's topsoil, but it has been enriched with all sorts of organic matter, that kind of thing. As you can see, this one all done. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I might need to harvest a few of these leeks today, and then this one as well. Oh, it's very exciting. I cannot believe the chill in the air, actually. It was so nice when I arrived, and it's instantly, as soon as the cloud comes over, really quite chilly. So, easy solution to being cold on the allotment. Let's get working. 3 beds down, a few more to go. They do look good, don't they? This is definitely the good stuff. Allotment porn for sure. See, freshly treated beds like this. This one is mostly clay, so this one is mostly soil, which is not ideal. It's not what I was going for with these, but I cannot be bothered to completely empty this bed, to be honest, and find somewhere to dump all that soil. You might have noticed I got a bit distracted at one point. This path has always just been unbelievably bumpy, and it used to slope down like that, so you're always at risk of tripping over and hurting yourself. But these just look so good now. They've been filled with topsoil and then that nice mulch of horse manure. Pleasantly surprised by how dry this is, actually, considering it's just been under a kind of crappy tarp under the trees there. The top bags were pretty saturated, but under that wasn't too bad. And this is the good stuff, isn't it? I've just put in some temporary compost baggage here as a path. It should be wood chip, and normally when I had the wood chip I would remove the plastic because it starts to degrade and go all nasty. But typically, pretty much as soon as I decided to change my allotment from growing in the ground to having raised beds and wood chip paths, they've stopped the wood chip delivery. We used to be really lucky and get a free delivery. It was always the kind of scrappier stuff, but it was just free from local tree surgeons, and we've not had delivery for about a year now. We got some really gross stump grindings, but doesn't really count. I don't know if it's like just stopped now or if it's just because we've not got an allotment officer at the council or something like that, but it is a little bit frustrating. I'm going to do the rhubarb next, I think. It's a bit, you know, I like to be honest on the channel, and to be honest, I'm having a absolutely terrible week, and I was really, really hoping that today I'd like come out and just be like full of the joys of spring, even though it's not spring, but one of those days, it's not quite cutting it. Basically, I've got some dental issues, and it's been going on for like many, many years, and I've just had a quote to get some work done on my front teeth. £5,000. £5,000, and it doesn't look like it's covered by the NHS. So that's going to be fun, trying to sort that out, but we'll get there. But one of those things that has been weighing on me all week, and it's not going away. But what I was saying about the rhubarb. So this is where the rhubarb is at the moment. It's an amazing plant. It grows so well. It was here when I took on this second plot, and as you can see, really stupid place to have it in the path. It just, God. Oh dear. One of those things you look at and you just go, what was he thinking? Why has he put his beds there? And yeah, true, correct. Basically, it was like, do I put the rhubarb first and like build a bed around it? Or do I just space the beds out and maximize the use of the space and worry about the rhubarb later? I did the latter. I think in the long run, probably the right thing to do, but it does look a bit dumb. It does look a bit silly. And I've never done this before. I've never divided a rhubarb crown. And once Liz Zorab gave me a rhubarb plant to take from her farm, and I killed it. So I'm hoping what I'm going to do is leave this in situ, but replant a few kind of dividings, and then hopefully the dividings will take, and eventually we can just turn this into a path and not have a whacking great big rhubarb growing right in the middle of all the beds. Now, I won't lie, I am quite nervous about this. You can kind of see these dark leaves, that's the bits of rhubarb dying back, and winter is meant to be a good time to do this. You can see a few shoots just starting to emerge where I guess it's been quite mild. I don't want to disturb the whole lot. There's a shoot there. What I want to do, I think, you want to aim for about 3 or 4 buds, apparently. I've never done this before, so I think if I just get in here, I can leave this, and hopefully this will take. Like I say, I'm very nervous. I'm feeling a bit precious about this, but let's just go for it. Oh, I can hear the audience screaming, "No, JB, what are you doing? That's not how you do it." The extent of my research was giving this a quick Google. I've not watched a video on it or anything like that, so apologies if this is horrific viewing, folks. I'm committed now. I do wish I'd done a bit more research about this. Like, sometimes I'm an overthinker. I overthink everything, and sometimes you just gotta You just got to get in, give it a go, see what happens. What I am wondering is whether to put this straight in the ground or pop it in the greenhouse for a little while. Oh, look at that. Okay, that looks like gore. Whoa. That is like rhubarb gore. Hopefully it won't damage what's there. And this can just go and it'll heal up. I'm going to look up whether or not it's best to put this in a greenhouse or straight in the ground. Sort of thing you should probably do before you dig something up. So the RHS website says what you should really do is dig up the whole lot and then divide it. So I have been a bit reckless, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And this little pallet collar just seems like it'll be the perfect place for it, really. Maybe a little bit bigger than it needs, but it is actually crazy how big these things can get. So I'm just going to dig a little hole in here, a little bit of manure mixed in just to soften it up a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. Maybe a little bit of fertilizer and then get it straight in. I really need to take this cherry tree down. Am I going to do that today? Probably not. Okay, look, I won't lie to you. This thing probably doesn't have the best chance in the world, but we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I have just dug some manure in. Very important to dig it in and mix it in properly instead of just letting it sit in manure, because it can be very, very rich. The thing about rhubarb is it is very hardy. It doesn't mind the cold temperatures. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll see how it does. That was a nice little break from just shifting material, but I'm getting cold, so I need to get back on the barrow, and hopefully we can fill this one up. And then I'm not sure about this one because of the leaks. That might be one for me to do tomorrow off camera. Who put these planks of wood here? Who put this rake here? Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? It looks so easy when I just cut to the unloading. Now, I left this netting and I kind of made the decision, it looks like it's pretty heavy duty and it'll be fine over winter. And it does look fine, it's not degraded or anything like that. But it does make life a little difficult when you're trying to fill a raised bed around it. You've got to try and get everything through the netting. Yes, some regrets there. Maybe a high velocity. I reckon if I do that and then pull the netting, give it a shake, it should be okay. Okay, maybe not. Sometimes the lazy way does actually make life a little bit harder. No, it's just kind of loose and slack. Oh. Just go around it, JB. There you go. Make life easy. How do I make something look so difficult when it's meant to be so easy? Oh. Just try and make life easy for myself by just depositing it on this side. And this is the last of it today. And this is actually the last of it from the big bag. Oh, that's too much, that's too much. Oh, just nearly spilled. It's amazing how quickly the material disappears. The mushroom compost went much further because obviously I wasn't actually filling raised beds with it, more of a mulch. This topsoil just disappeared. It's lovely stuff though, lovely, soft, kind of crumbly. Looks a bit not so nice close up in the bag, but it's just that sort of top layer. Once you get it on the bed, start moving it around and working it, clear just how nice it is. There we go. I think it needs a good topping of manure, and I need to sort out this netting so it's not completely slack and horrible, but that's on for another day. 2 ton bags, 2 big ton bags as well. have finally been moved. It's been quite a mission. It's taken quite a lot of videos, unsurprisingly, to get all of this shifted, but it's now gone from the delivery to the allotment space to the beds where it needs to be. I'm really pleased actually with how much I'm getting done this winter. There have been some days that have been easier than others. Today kind of being like, you know, not one of the best days today. It is feeling very good to think about what's coming in the season ahead though. You know, I just know that even if you've had some frustrating days or some days that aren't, you know, always enjoyable on the allotment, you're putting in the work and hopefully it's going to pay off for spring. Normally I would just say it's going to pay off for spring, but I do feel like I've had some bad luck with trying to grow various things and mulching not working and that kind of thing. So this year we've gone all out. Massive thank you as always to Grown Local for supplying the compost to help me fill up these raised beds. And I am feeling pretty optimistic, but I'm also feeling very tired, so I'm going to leave it there. There is a little bit more kind of mulching and stuff to do, but I'm pretty happy with today's work. Thank you so much for joining me, and an extra special thank you as always to all of my Chili Pepper tier patrons: Tony, Bill, Pam, Mel, Michael, Socks, Dorcas, Louise, Andre, Brett, Tom and Amber. Hopefully I'll see you again next time.